Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial for my verdant and heartfelt arrangement of the hymn, The King of Love, My Shepherd Is. In this tutorial, I'm going to go over any potential trouble spots and offer you some insight into my thinking as the arranger. This hymn is actually a metrical setting of Psalm 23, and there are a few out there that are really beautiful. Isaac Watts has one called My Shepherd Will Supply My Need. I also have an arrangement of that one. And both just really beautiful, really excellent. This one's written by Henry William Baker in the 1800s, set to an ancient Irish melody called St. Columbia. And this melody actually is also used for another Isaac Watts text called How Sweet and Awful is the Place. And an awesome text. It's not as well known, but really, really powerful text. And so if you already do know that hymn and you sing it, this arrangement will work with that as well. Just in the bulletin or whatever, change the title of it. It's the same melody. So speaking of that melody, it's really beautiful. It's very singable. It really doesn't need anything. It stands on its own. It's so beautiful to listen to all on its own. And so I kind of took that approach with the arranging. I tried to keep out of its way. So there's no introduction, it dives right in, and your left hand's very sparse, just chords. You get to the second verse, and it's just this arpeggiated figure that stays out of the way while the right hand plays the melody up high. We go back to the first verse idea. When we hit the third verse, just a sparse left hand accompaniment, and then the fourth verse is the same idea as the second verse. It's just with a bigger dynamic, and we've modulated to a different key. So that's what I really want to draw your attention to. I think it's the only part of this arrangement that I think might need a little bit of explanation or some tips. So I'm just going to focus there at measure 21 at the beginning of the second verse. Your left hand's doing this. You can hear how that's very beautiful. It's very melodic, even though it's an arpeggiated kind of accompaniment. This is something I try to do in my arranging, where I don't allow myself to just throw down something on the page that's very easy and cliche just because something's needed. I always try, especially in these arpeggiated left-hand parts, to incorporate melodies and something worth listening to in their own right. So this little melody that your thumb kind of outlines here is really beautiful and sets itself really beautifully against the melody. So know that and play accordingly. Give it a little bit of a swell and then a dying down. That sort of figure just continues throughout that left-hand part. Let it be an opportunity for musicality and emotional expression. When you get to measure 45, you will have had about 8 measures or so of what I call an instrumental section. And we kind of modulate a little bit. We get into so what I'm going to say about that is going to apply again when we get to the last verse, where we have this ritardando going into a powerful last verse in a slower tempo. I'm playing an octave higher, by the way, now, so I don't bump into the camera stand. My encouragement there is, in all of these arpeggiated parts, to let your left hand be very relaxed, very loose, very fluid. When you play the piano, we don't often think about this, but it really is a full body experience. You're engaging your whole body. Your torso is it's like an oak tree, the trunk of an oak tree. It's very, you're sitting up straight with attention, and your shoulder, your arm, your elbow, your wrist, all of that are very relaxed. And you're letting your hand kind of move up and down as the notes move up and down. And if you have smaller hands, that's going to allow you, especially in that second verse, to reach that E up here. If you're allowing your arm to kind of lead the way with your hand and keep everything relaxed, you'll be able to hit that E a lot easier. But it's also going to naturally result in a more fluid kind of green pastures, verdant kind of feel, which is really important to this text and this arrangement. And then your right hand, when you have these big chords, let your wrist, and I'm not able to do it very well because I'm kind of seated cockeyed here. Let your wrist kind of, let the power of those chords come from your wrist, and make sure your fingers are engaged in the shape of those chords, and just land as your wrist does all the actual movement itself. It's actually a good way to create a kind of bell sound. I'm exaggerating, don't actually play it this way. But that's the technique that you want to aim for there. You don't want any of this tension. This Psalm 23 is all about no tension. It's all about peace and comfort and having your needs supplied. And you want that to come across in the arrangement. All right, I don't have any fingering listed in here. I usually have fingering, but it all felt pretty intuitive to me. I don't think it's a very difficult arrangement. It just requires the right kind of mindset and interpretation. And so I hope that if you had any trouble, that this was helpful and you enjoyed some of the insight into it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial.